Capsule now approaching station. Stand clear of disembarking passengers. The capsule will be leaving the station momentarily.
Welcome to the ASOP Vehicle Retrieval System.
Tired of travel? Why not rest at the Nest's newly renovated accommodations, located downtown in the luxurious Aspire Grand.
Your insurance claim has been sent.
For the latest updates on ship availability and gate assignments, please use one of the conveniently located terminals. From the best in shopping, dining, and entertainment, be sure to visit New Babbage's renowned promenade. Microtech, the Empire's leader in cutting-edge technology, where creative innovation meets innovative creativity. Remember, your belongings belong to you. Keep a careful watch on all personal items.
Vehicle selected. Stand by. Your
From
vehicle
all of
has
us
been
at
delivered to
Microtech,
the following
welcome
location.
to the New Babbage Interstellar Spaceport.
Please visit us again. Goodbye.
You are clear to launch.
Takeoff complete.
Thank you, and please visit again.
to the ASOP Vehicle Retrieval System. Please visit us again.
Looking
Welcome
for a good time?
to the ASOP
Be
Vehicle
sure to
Retrieval
visit
System.
Wally's Bar at the Promenade. Only a quick ride on the Metro Loop.
Please visit us again. Goodbye.
Microtech, the Empire's leader in cutting-edge technology, where creative innovation meets innovative creativity. Remember, your belongings belong to you. Keep a careful watch on all personal items. Microtech, the Empire's leader in cutting-edge technology, where creative innovation meets innovative creativity. Tired of travel? Why not rest at the Nest's newly renovated accommodations, located downtown in the luxurious Aspire Grand. For the latest updates on ship availability and gate assignments, please use one of the conveniently located terminals. From all of us at Microtech, welcome to the New Babbage Interstellar Spaceport. Remember, your belongings belong to you. Keep a careful watch on all personal items. Ready to upgrade? Located in the plaza, the factory line has all of Microtech's latest offerings.
Welcome to the ASOP Vehicle Retrieval System. Vehicle selected.
From the best in
Stand by.
shopping, dining, and entertainment. Be sure to visit New Babbage's
Your
renowned
vehicle has been
promenade.
delivered to the following location. Please visit us again.
From all of us at Microtech, welcome to the New Babbage Interstellar Spaceport.
are clear to launch. Thank you, and please visit again.
Sager Industries, a journey worth taking. Landing complete. Engines off.
Remember, your belongings belong to you. Keep careful watch on your personal life.
Welcome to the ASOP Vehicle Retrieval System.
Be sure to explore all new Babbage has to offer. Whether it's the latest in cutting-edge technology or the beauty of our award-winning gardens, this city of tomorrow has a lot going on today. Microtech, the
Vehicle
Empire's
selected.
leader in cutting-edge
Stand by.
technology, where creative innovation meets innovative creativity.
Your vehicle has been delivered to the following location. Please visit us again.
downtown in the luxurious Aspire Grand. Be sure to explore all New Babbage has to offer. Whether it's the latest in cutting-edge technology or the beauty of our award-winning gardens, this city of tomorrow has a lot going on today. Looking for a good time? Be sure to visit Wally's Bar at the Promenade. Only a quick ride on the metro. Remember, your belongings belong to you. Keep a careful watch on all personal items. For the latest updates on ship availability and gate assignments, please use one of the conveniently located terminals.
Your insurance claim has been sent.
From all of us at Microtech, welcome to the New Babbage Interstellar Spaceport. From all of us at Microtech, welcome to the New Babbage Interstellar Spaceport.
Please visit us again.
Creative innovation meets innovative creativity.
Welcome to the ASOP Vehicle Retrieval System.
Microtech, the Empire's leader in cutting-edge technology, where creative innovation meets innovative creativity.
Your insurance claim has been sent.
From the best in shopping, dining, and entertainment, be sure to visit New Babbage's renowned Promenade.
Please visit us again. Goodbye.
Remember, your belongings belong to you. Keep a careful watch on all personal items.
Welcome to the ASOP Vehicle Retrieval System.
Tired of travel? Why not rest at the Nest's newly renovated accommodations, located downtown in the luxurious Aspire Grand.
Vehicle selected. Stand by. Your vehicle has been delivered to the following location.
Star Citizen's latest tiny snub fighter, the Mirai Fury, might just be a cockpit with guns strapped to it, but it also is easily the most fun little ship you're likely to have flown yet. And get this, it can fit in just about anything from a Nomad starter ship all the way up to a Caterpillar. Now that's a pocket carrier. But while the design of the Mirai, definitely not a TIE Interceptor Fury, might be awesome, it may just have some serious limitations. All that and more in this latest installation of an Architect Reviews, where I'll, as always, take you through its design, where I'll talk about its successes and shortcomings, and even let you know if it's going to be a new threat at a jump town near you. One threat you'll definitely not need to worry about, though, is one from unsavory folk trying to get your IP address, thanks to the sponsor of today's video, NordVPN, who now go a step further with their threat protection service. It works against intrusive ads, malware, trackers, and malicious websites, and I've already been using them for years after getting fed up with dealing with free VPNs that just didn't work. So now I can access IP-restricted websites while I work from abroad while protecting my personal information. I also use the app on my iPad to let me watch shows like Strange New Worlds, which is frustratingly not available here in Taiwan. So if you're looking for a reliable VPN service and you want to help support the channel, head on over to nordvpn.com/morphologist to get a huge discount and a 2-year plan, plus get 4 additional months for free. That's nordvpn.com/morphologist, and if none of this really works for you, you can always get your money back with their 30-day money-back guarantee. From the very first time I saw an image of the Fury, I was in love. Not least of which because another snub
Thank
fighter
you.
was the very last thing I expected to come from CIG with Invictus. What classifies them as snub-nosed fighters is the fact that they lack a quantum drive, which makes them completely reliant on a larger host ship for transport. There's something really cool about a fighter that you can take with you on a larger ship, and maybe something even cooler about a minimal ship that's only just as big as it needs to be to fit the components it requires to run. I think it's maybe akin to solving a satisfying puzzle where each component piece doesn't feel like it can possibly fit together, but when it's finally resolved, it feels like it was always meant to be. I hope that makes sense. And I would also be lying to you if I didn't also acknowledge that it took direct inspiration from a pretty cool ship that I love, the TIE Interceptor. I don't think CIG's been too bashful about it because on ISC they were kind of hinting towards that inspiration. However, I think it's also worth adding that the ship is likely also inspired by the ship design from Oblivion, another science fiction ship I'm rather fond of. But all of this brings me back to the design of the ship itself. And I want to say that despite the fact that they've taken inspiration from some pretty big staples of science fiction, they've made it their own. It's important to note that in design, there's no such thing as a completely original idea. It's about iteration and kind of authoring your own take on a classic idea. And they have done that very well here with the Fury. My absolute favorite moment in the ship and what gives it its unique silhouette, in my opinion, are the winglets. Without them, it would just be a cylinder with a pod attached to it. And yeah, their triangular shape make them reminiscent of the TIE Interceptor, but the inclusion of the engine pods within the wings is something new and very interesting. It's a design cue that they're borrowing from the Reliant series as well as other Xi'an ships, as the story behind this ship, as well as the entire MISC line, is that they're working together with the alien race, the Xi'an, in order to produce these ships. The layering of materials and their contrast against one another, along with the little winglets that they added the Mirai logo to, also give it an additional very cool little interest and flavor that goes beyond what the inspiration has ever done. The detail is rich, and especially the accents. I really love the little touch of color that they added in with the paint scheme, here on this white paint with the form of the red accent. And of course, I couldn't possibly ignore the fact that they've put the weapons on the tips of these winglets, just like the inspiration, which feels appropriate. It makes it so that when you're firing these weapons, you can actually see them clearly in your peripheral vision. It just makes for a very cool experience in a dogfight. Which brings me to a core design philosophy that I think any designer in any field should at least try to adhere to. And that's to try to design stuff not just to be cool, but to also enhance the experience of the user. And I very much think that's what these winglets do. And that also wouldn't be possible without the really amazing cockpit design, which makes for a very cool flight experience, giving you some of the best visibility of any ship in the game. I mean, try this with an eye tracker and tell me it's not awesome to skim the clouds or thread in between buildings on ArcCorp. It is phenomenal. Which brings me to just a couple of things I find a bit unusual about the design of this ship, but maybe not specifically the Fury, because it does have a variant. It's called the Fury MX. It looks basically the same, except it has all missile hardpoints instead of having weapons. In fact, it's got 20 missiles, which is pretty impressive for a small ship. The thing that I find questionable about this ship is the drop-down armor canopy. Not that it's a bad thing, it's actually really cool. I just don't really understand why they didn't have it on the base Fury as well. It just seemed like a strange decision to me, because if both of these ships are meant to get close up and personal, wouldn't the Fury version, like the base one, want it more than the missile version? Because, I don't know, the missile version probably staying a lot farther away than the one that's meant to be up in your face and dogfighting. So that's kind of the first weird decision that they made. The second is the location of the NFV screen directly above your field of view. Well, it worked really well on stuff like the Prospector. It is kind of strange here because when you're turning into a ship for a dogfight, it can kind of get in the way a little bit. But both this issue and the lack of a shield on the base version are rather small problems. Overall, the ship's design is fantastic and it's quickly become my favorite subfighter over the Merlin. And so as far as design goes, I'm giving Fury high marks. But what about its performance? While I have no problems with the design of the Fury, I do have some issues with the way that it has been tuned for Star Citizen. Being a snub fighter, as small as it has a limited amount of room for components, and so the Fury and Fury MX both come with a single size 1 shield generator, a single size 1 power plant, 2 size 1 coolers, and of course no quantum drive. For weaponry, the base variant gets you 4 size 2 fixed hardpoints, each coming with a size 2 Badger repeater each, and you also get 4 size 3 missiles as a bonus. If you switch over to the MX though, you lose the guns and instead get 20 missiles, 8 size 3s and 12 size 2s. And you'll get even more missiles if you swap them out for even smaller ones. And on paper, its unique engines deliver 17.9 Gs of forward acceleration, getting you up to its 1250 meter a second top speed pretty dang quick. But that's only marginally faster than the 2 meta ships, the Arrow and Gladius, at 1235 and 1236 respectively, meaning it's only just slightly able to outrun them, and that's probably not good enough to outrun them before they're destroyed. But apparently that's only the beginning of it, as it's not actually as maneuverable as you might think. Apparently it's not actually better at turning than the Arrow or Gladius, meaning that it's maybe not better than the light fighters. Even further compounding this issue is the HP pool. While it is better than the Merlin, the main issue is that it relies on 4 thrusters as opposed to a lot more on the Merlin, which means if this ship gets hit once on one of the wings, when the shields are down, it becomes unflyable, bringing its effective health pool down to something like half of the health pool of the Merlin, which is needless to say, very, very squishy. Like, you get hit once and you're dead. So you gotta try to get really lucky on any kind of merge when you're fighting against a light fighter not to get hit by them. And did I mention the fuel consumption? Even if you manage to survive a dogfight, by the end you'll probably need to go back and refuel somewhere. Combine this with the rather large profile compared to the Merlin, and you have a recipe for a ship that's going to die easily in PvP, as has been proven by people who have been testing it in the preview since it released. And all this leads me to what I think might be a fundamental issue in the way that CIG are approaching snub fighters right now in Star Citizen. And instead of telling CIG directly what I think should be done here, let me instead explain it through the lens of a player. So you want to take out a snub fighter, but you're going to need to find some kind of ship to host it. You take out a C2, 890 jumper, maybe even a Caterpillar. Regardless of which you choose though, it's going to take quite a bit of time to get everybody together, something like an hour to get all the ships on board and ready to go. But it doesn't end there, because exiting the ship is going to require quite a bit more coordination. You can't do it while you're moving, or you'll hit the side of the ship or other ships while you fly out. So the pilot will have to find a safe place outside of the area where you want to engage. That way, you're not politely leaving yourself open to be strafed as you exit the ship. And then you've got a very limited time to actually win the fight. If your opponent is strategic and decides to quantum travel away and waste your fuel, well, you're going to be in a pretty bad place, which is precisely likely what a light fighter pilot is going to do if they're not as good as the one in the Fury. Let's take that compared to everybody just hopping in light fighters, which are arguably nearly just as good, but they have their own quantum drive. Everybody gets their own ship, they meet at the location, and they fight. It takes probably less than half the time. And if the fight's not going very well, they can always disengage and QT away, unlike those Furies, which are going to be stuck wherever they were released. Because of course you want the Caterpillar to go and just stand still and let everybody get on board and jump away, which is just asking to get blown up. So be honest, which one are you going to choose? If you want to get into a fight and have a good chance of winning, are you going to go with some Arrows and Gladiuses, or are you going to go with a Caterpillar with a bunch of Furies? Now this isn't a question of which one's cooler. Clearly the Fury MXs and Furies are much cooler than flying Arrows and flying Gladiuses. That's not a really debate here, but in my opinion, probably going to go with the Arrows if you're looking to win the fight, if you really need to win the fight. I look at this the same way I look at the turret composition. Why put a bunch of people on turrets when you could just put them in smaller ships and be way more effective? CIG had to combat this by making turrets a lot better than they were before, by giving them a huge capacitor pool. And even now, people still prefer to fly their own ships. In my view, in order for me to actually want to use Furies or any kind of snub-nose in a real fight, I'm going to have a lot more incentive. It can't just be because they're cool. Their benefit needs to outweigh the negatives, which I would say currently, for me right now, in a real fight, they don't. So I fear once the novelty of them has worn off, they're just going to fall to the wayside and we're not really going to ever see them in combat. And that's going to be quite a bit of a disservice to the people who worked hard designing this ship. So then I sincerely hope that CIG reconsiders the way that they've been balanced. That's not to say that it's completely useless though. Star Citizen isn't just about PvP, it's also about player versus NPCs, and for that, it can be a lot of fun. In fact, the other night, I hopped into a C2 with 9 other friends and we flew 10 of these things versus an Idris and won. Sure, it took a little bit of time, but it was a heck of a lot of fun to do it, which is why I still picked up 2 of them and might buy a few more for some friends. I mean, seriously, these things are really, really fun to fly, I'm not kidding. They just need some kind of incentive to be used against real players in a PvP battle at Jumptown or Ghost Holler. But what do you guys think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? I want to know down in the comment section below and why you think that way. Join the conversation and hopefully we can get a better game tomorrow with the next release. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, you know what to do. Hope to see you in the next one.
What's going on, everyone? Austin Chomplace here, and today I'm going to be going over how you can get better weapons for you to use in Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. In this video, I'm going to be going over a few locations of some of my favorite weapons that you can be using throughout your journey, that you can fuse things with, the importance of unfusing very specific things, and also on top of that, we're going to be talking about how to build a super powerful weapon that can pretty much just KO a lot of enemies very easily. The first thing I want to talk about is any strong weapon that you have, you can come over here to the Hyrule Field Skyview Tower. This is a monster encampment, and located right here, right by this path going down, is going to be a large spiked ball. That large spiked ball is going to be fantastic for doing a good amount of damage on enemies as well as destroying boulders. The spiked iron ball is a stat of 15, as you can see right here. The only thing that would be better is if you had cobble crushers. The cobble crushers are more specifically designed for like breaking rocks and stuff. This I use as an all-around powerful, easy 29 damage on a Royal Claymore, or if I were to go ahead and put it on just like a regular sturdy thick stick of a stat 7, then that's going to be 24. It's going to be hard to break that power 30 threshold without defeating harder enemies. And that's something you need to know. Fuse isn't an optional thing in this game. If you want strong weapons, you have to defeat strong enemies and then use their drops to get better weapons. So typically what I do is whatever weapon that I have, like this Royal Claymore that has a power of 14, it's so funny to see it. It's fallen from grace. This gnarled wooden stick with durability up, power of 14, is just as strong as a Royal Claymore, and I think that's pretty hysterical. I'm going to choose Fuse before I even fast travel there, because I just like to get in, get the item I want, and get out. Soon as you spawn in, especially if you're doing it at night, all the enemies are going to be asleep. If you have stealth armor, it makes it easier. Come over here, attach it, you're done. Now there are lots of enemy encampments that you can do this exact thing at, not just the Hyrule Skyview Tower. Anytime that you see this exact pattern, that means that there's going to be a spiked wall around it. I know that there's going to be one located right here in Necluda, just south of this tower. Here we can find ourselves a spiked ball as well. I'm going to go ahead and grab that one. Let's go ahead, fuse this giant spiked ball. So that spiked ball and spiked balls in general that give you a base 15 fuse are great for just whatever random weapons you have. But once you have your stamina up, or, you know, some stamina food, you can actually get one of my favorite go-to weapons that I'm using all the time with a base power of 60 that respawns all the time. And that's going to be this Captain 4 blade, which is a Mighty Zonite longsword and a Captain Construct 4 horn. Getting both of these things is very simple. They're going to respawn regularly here on the Zonite Forge Island. However, this is really high up in the air, so you have two options. One is from here, the North Necluda Sky Archipelago, just right of the Great Sky Island. You can come from here if you have the Zora armor. You can glide over here, which is a long waterfall, and then just make your way a short way over. The other way, if you don't have the Zora armor, which the only reason I haven't gotten it is because I was saving that for a video, is coming over here to Valor Island. This is one of the 3 locations that you're going to be getting a piece of the glide armor, which I made a video on that. Long story short, go to Mount Lanayru, come over here. You don't need to go to the top of the structure. You're gonna go to the bottom. It's located right here. There's a skydive challenge, and when you accept the skydive challenge, he's gonna be fast traveling you to the top of the island, which is here at 2,624 meters in the air, which is extraordinarily high. This is one of the highest structures in the entire game. So once you're up here, put down a travel medallion. That way you can get pretty much anywhere as long as you have enough stamina. And Tullen. Tullen is pretty much a given at this point. All you need to do now is, 1, optionally, cook some stamina food if you don't have 4 rings of stamina. Put down a fast travel marker, and over there, that's our destination. That giant, almost potted plant looking thing, that is the Zonite Forge Island. You don't need to land at the top, you just need to land at the bottom. And if you can't reach the bottom, then you can reach that island that I was talking about that you could swim up before. That island has a platform with rockets that will bring you right over, no problem. I'm not going to demonstrate that because it's just 4 minutes of me flying over there. In order to get into this island, all you need to do is activate the hand thing at the front, and then these are going to be winds. They're going to bring you up. You come down the bottom, there's a big laser grid. That's pretty much self-explanatory. There's also wind. If you have the skydive armor, it's very easy. Once you're down here, there's a shrine, and once you activate the shrine, then the door to down here is going to be open, so you never have to do the laser grid thing again. Door is located right over there. Leaving the shrine, you're going to find on the ground, I already grabbed them and they haven't respawned yet, a Mighty Construct bow, which isn't the best. What's the power of this? 24. Oh, and I got quick shot, so that's great. I'm going to use that for this video. And then also right here, you're going to be able to find a Mighty Zonite sword, and I believe also right here is the Mighty Zonite spear. And then from here, we're going to make our way to the staircase. At the top of the staircase, if you walk around the path, right about here, there's going to be Zonite weapons just sitting on the floor, which is going to include the Mighty Zonite longsword, which means that it's a 2-handed weapon. And I think there's a second Mighty Zonite sword here. Now, as far as Captain Construct 4 horns, if you implement the same trick as far as using the travel medallion, you're actually able to float all the way over here to Wellspring Island and activate one of the shrines here. The higher up area is going to be the end of the Zora quest line, which in theory you could just go there anytime. You just can't activate that area yet until you progress in the story for that. But you can come here to the shrine and actually make your job with the Zora stuff easier later on. This area is jam-packed with high-level constructs, including a Captain 4. There's a Flux right there. So I think that's a Flux 3, so you get a Flux Core Pounder if you need. Here we go. These guys. Nope, those aren't Captain 4s. I think those are Soldier 4s? Soldier Construct 3s. So those ones aren't bad either. Basically, there's 2 classes. There's Soldier and there's Captain. The Captains have better heads. Oh, he has a sturdy, thick stick. Very nice. But taking these guys down, you're going to get better tops. I actually want this drop, so I'm going to go ahead and take this guy out. And here's that Soldier Construct 3-horn fuse power of 18. So now that's better than what we already have. So that power 18 bottom, and let's go for the one-handed sword. And this 10 sword is going to be 38 because it gets a plus 10 because it's a Zonite sword mixed with a Construct horn. So because of that, now we have a power 38. We used a 29 to get a 38. it's like that. And then if you want to find the captains on there, go for it. But I know they're very easily found right next to the Great Plateau. Right here is a whole chunk of Sky Island that fell that has a captain level 4. I just knocked him out. I don't think he's going to be there. Let's see if we can see him from the shrine. Hey guy, while you're distracted, let's get that headshot in. Thank you. So that silver bokoblin horn has a fuse power of 31. He also dropped a gnarled wooden stick. Let's pick up that gnarled wooden stick. We go ahead, drop that on the floor, and then we fuse that with his horn. And now we just made a power 53 weapon. The two things that he dropped, put them together. Oh, and I have attack up 8 on it. Fantastic. Here's that Zonai encampment I was talking about with the constructs, but we haven't had a blood moon, so they haven't spawned back in. Bottom line is, there's a Captain 4 here. He takes a while to take down, but once you take him down, you're gonna get this power 60 weapon. And weapons like this that are in the 50s to 60s, this is stuff that I use regularly. Now granted, while I'm walking around, I'm not gonna use this on a red bokoblin. I'm gonna come over here and grab this, you know, level 40 spear or level 8 spear and just jab him a few times and I'm good. I also have my ice weapon to be able to shoot ice. I have my fire weapon to shoot fire. I have my axe to be able to chop down trees. And then I have a couple of spiked iron balls that I either use for damage or mostly for rocks. Now that I've talked about the core concept of find stuff on the ground, put it together, knock things out, put it together, you're good for everyday weapons. Now let's talk about climbing the ladder to get some of the most powerful weapons in the game. And this is going to involve defeating Lynels. Now hang on, defeating Lynels isn't that hard. It's really not. You just need a few things. One, I'm going to recommend Barbarian armor. But if you don't have the Barbarian armor leveled up, for this video, I'm going to be using the Phantom armor. You need any bow. If you have a multi-shot bow, it gets significantly easier. But to start off with, I'm just going to be using this mighty construct bow that I just picked up at the forge. Any shield that you want, but if you have the Hylian shield, you might as well use that. And whatever powerful weapon that you want, it does not matter the current durability. So I'm going to be using this power 60 Captain Blade. As far as meals, if you've been following my videos on how to recover efficiently, then you probably have a whole bunch of meat skewers and not a lot of hearts. Bottom line is, during a blood moon, last 30 seconds before the blood moon happens, cook a whole bunch of meat, make it efficient. Now there are 4 classes of Lynel in this game. To start off with, I'm going to be talking about the base level Lynel. That's where you should be starting off if you're not good with defeating Lynels, or if you played Breath of the Wild but it's been a while, then you're going to want to do this. First of all, the Sage Tullen is going to make this so much easier because he'll just occasionally get headshots on Lynels, which is never expected but always appreciated. This right here is a base level Lynel. You can tell because he has dark red hair and he's very stunning looking in my opinion. Now here's the thing, they are not going to be attacking you until you pull out a weapon. I'm starting to think that the camera is considered a weapon. It is. Okay, don't pull your camera out like I did. Once you get closer, he's then going to pull his weapon out. Now is your perfect time to put down a save. I want you to practice on this Lynel. I don't want you to just try to defeat him, I want you to practice on him. And I want you to do this battle until you're actually good at it. A friend of mine who didn't play a lot of Breath of the Wild, before game release, I brought him over and I was like, hey, we're gonna practice on a Lynel. I'm gonna be with you and I'm gonna give you some advice on what to do here. This is a spear Lynel, one of the easiest ones. He's gonna be coming at you with his spear and there's a variety of attacks. This is his charge attack, which you could choose to dodge out of the way with a perfect time dodge. You probably did the shrine on how to do that. He's gonna be doing this big wide swing, and all of this right now I'm just flurry rushing to avoid the damage. The most important part is that I'm just holding my shield in front of me, because as long as I have my shield out, most attacks don't hurt you. In fact, the only attack that can hurt you is when he's going to be doing his downward pound force with fireball thing, and the only thing that hurts you is you're going to block the downward force of the weapon, but not of the area of effect damage. Taking down a Lynel is easy. All you need to do is deflect his attack, and then after you deflect his attack, you're going to want to take out your bow quickly and get a headshot. There's also going to be a sound when you land that headshot to let you know that he's then going to be stunned. Once you start pulling back let go of ZR. That way you're going to instantly fire as soon as you're ready. You don't want to focus on where his face is, but after seeing his pattern, you're going to focus on where his face is going to move to. It typically moves up just a little bit. This is the sky attack. So these you can run away from, or you can just parry them. There's really no advantage on parrying them. I'd recommend just running away. Like if you parry that, you're just going to avoid damage and remain still. But when he comes at you, you want to focus right on where his face is. And you see how his face moves up ever so slightly right there? That's where you're going to want to be aiming. Also, something you need to keep in mind of, if you go to do this and you land on the ground and you pull your bow out and you miss or whatever, when you hold the shield button, you're not shielding. You're just running around with your bow and arrow. Because of that, you have to press B to put it away and actually take the shield out. So, hey buddy, you ready? That's his new headbutt attack. You want to take out your bow and arrow, and you want to land a headshot. Now that you're on his back, if you haven't put on your attack armor, this is a reminder to put on your attack armor. If you don't have attack armor, you should have watched my video on how to get the Barbarian or the Phantom armor. Until you have the Barbarian armor upgraded to level 2, which requires defeating Lynels, it's not going to be better than the Phantom armor. You might as well wear the Phantom armor. There is no set bonus, you're just going to have attack up 3. Now is also the time that you want to take out your most powerful weapon. Now here's the thing, when you're attacking the back of his head, you're not actually going to be damaging your weapon. So because of that, you just feel free to go ham on him. So you want to do these attacks, and then optionally, after you're bucked off, you can then pull out your bow and arrow again and land a few more headshots. I'd recommend not doing this quite yet. So it took me how many meals to land my first perfect shot? I'm not happy with that, so I'm gonna go ahead and reload my save. And this is what I mean when I say practicing on how to take down a Lynel. This is a level 1 Lynel. It's not that difficult to take down. Well, for me it isn't, but I've played a lot of Breath of the Wild and the mechanics are extremely similar. By the way, if you try to pull out your bow and arrow here, there's a high likelihood you're not going to be able to do it in time. Also, I realized that I had quick shot on this bow, and because of that, I don't want that much of an advantage for this video. I'm gonna go to a really bad bow. Pull out your weapon, and then he's gonna start with an attack. Parry his attack, focus on his head. Oh, Talon got the headshot. Thanks, buddy. See, that's what I mean. Talon's the best. He's just gonna get these random headshots and help you out. After you're bucked off, your weapon is put away, so you can feel free to just take your shield out again. You don't run into that situation that you had with having your bow out before, because you're gonna be able to just whip out your shield and do your parry just fine. I've also noticed in this game they changed how long you're allowed to attack the back of his head for. The first time you can get all, 5 or 6 hits in, but after that, it limits you to like 3 or 4. So it's a little rough like that. Anyways, yeah, you just want to continue on, do the exact same thing. If you want to get those pop shots on the back of the head, you're more than welcome to, but I have a better strategy for that I'm going to talk about once we're done with this red Lynel here. I'm also using my left thumb to then rotate the camera around because I want to be facing the back of him. Oh, here's the fireball attack, finally. If you're in an area with dry grass, this is then going to make an updraft, which then you can go into bullet time and get an easy headshot on him. There we go. Land on him, attack him, and there you go. Now here's the thing, we are gonna start climbing the Lynel ladder here. The first thing is you need to take down enough Lynels to actually upgrade your Barbarian armor, which is gonna be 6 horns and 6 mace. So you need to take down 6 Lynels. You see how we just found a Lynel bow? This is what's going to make this dramatically easier. I know that I just did the aiming and I made it look super easy, right? Now that you have this Lynel bow, you're now going to be doing 3 shots. They're only doing 10 damage, but you're not doing this for damage. You're doing this to be able to land 3 different hits. So your window of opportunity now has more grace room. There's going to be another Lynel located right here at the West Hyrule Plains.
Please
And then there's
proceed to
also going to be
assign
one
landing bay.
from the Hyrule Ridge once you go down over here. It's right next to a very visible shrine. But before you do your next Lionel, we're now going to build you a better weapon. And that's going to be pretty easy to do. So you need to make your way to the top part of Hyrule Castle. In order to get up to the castle, it's really pretty easy. Right before you make your way to the castle, past the first gatehouse, I just came here and then just climbed straight up the wall right here. You're gonna see these two squares. These are building supplies. All we're going to need is a 4x4, like this one right here. Take out your balloon and a flame emitter. And then if you have a stick, right now is a great time to pull it out because you're gonna be able to use a stick to prolong how long you're gonna be able to float in the air. I already have this saved as an auto build. I took the spike off of my gnarled stick and now I'm just gonna use this. Once my battery is almost exhausted, I'm just gonna swipe at this, make sure I'm close enough to the balloon, that way the heat from my stick is still gonna be going in there. Wait till I'm at 2 portions of battery, turn it back on, put my stick away. And all you need to do from looking at the front of the castle, this left spire over here on the map, it's gonna be located over here, that's Zelda's study. That's where we're gonna make our way to. From Zelda's study, we're not actually gonna go into her study, but right here, this is one of the locations that I like to get a claymore from. That's a knight's claymore. It's not a royal claymore, but it's better than nothing. Go to Princess Zelda's room, and then we're gonna look through this door right here. And right here is gonna be the most powerful base weapon that you can have in the game, the Royal Guard's Claymore. Now, the Royal Guard's weapons are known for having absolutely deplorable durability, but they have a neat little thing that says it holds massive destructive power just before it breaks. So because of that, I'm gonna go ahead, equip it, find whatever enemy here that I want to take down, and take them down. Royal Guard's Claymore is badly damaged. I got the pop-up I wanted. So right now, my most powerful fuse is going to be this silver bokoblin horn. I want to take the fuse off of there and put it on this Royal Guard's Claymore that you see just doubled its damage to now 64. In order to unfuse your items, you're going to make your way to Tarrey Town. Here inside of Tarrey Town, we're going to make our way over to this little baby Goron. You may remember him, Pellison. We brought him and his dad here. He owns the Break Apart shop. For the low price of 20 rupees, you're going to be able to take whatever fused item that you have and unfuse it. You want me to break this down? Go ahead. You could also use this opportunity to get rods from Wizrobes and then detach their gems for a little bit of profit on that. That's that gnarled wooden stick and that silver bokoblin horn. My Royal Guard's Claymore, we're now going to fuse it with the silver bokoblin horn, and now we have a weapon with a power of 63. Hi, it's Future Austin, and past Austin, while he was recording, he forgot to mention that now that it's 63, you actually have to hit a few things to break down the durability, and then 3 hits before the durability is gone, just like it said before when it was 64. It's then going to be doubled, so that 63 is then going to be 126. He's going to realize that later, but I'm just letting you know now. So now with your slightly more powerful weapon, but more importantly, you now have a 3-shot bow. You can now go around to the different locations of base level Lionels. Farm them up and get all of your barbarian armor to level 3. Now you no longer need the phantom armor for anything. And Lionel locations are these 3 that I showed you here at Hyrule Ridge, number 1, 2, and 3. From that Hyrule Ridge, if you were to cross slightly over Tanagar Canyon, you're gonna have one right here. For reference, this is the location of the Lucky Clover Gazette. This one is in a cold area, so be sure to make a cold resistance food. That way you can still wear your attack up armor. You're gonna have one here in Deep Akala, located right here where he was in the last game. For reference, here is going to be the East Akala stable. And between those 5 Lionels, as soon as a blood moon happens, you're gonna be able to get more parts. Now we're gonna make our way onto blue Lionels because you're doing a good job. I believe in you, you got this. Blue Lionels, easier to track, are gonna be located in little strings of 3, including right here from Lanayru Wetlands, right by this archipelago, and as well as up here on top of this ridge, and then also overlooking on the Lanayru Heights. There's going to be 3 located right here in the Faron Grasslands. From the Highlands stable, as you're making your way through, at the bottom of this valley is going to be one. You keep going down, and then here inside of these wetlands, and then you head up the ridge, and then here on top of the Starly Plateau, although this is probably easier from the Great Plateau, there's going to be your third in a row. There's a few more spread throughout the map, including in Hebra. You're going to be having one right here. Here's the secret hot springs, and here's Rito Village down here. So there you go, mark that on your map. Okay, I lied, that's the only other one random one. So there's 7 in total. You're gonna need 9 saber horns and 9 mace horns. So you're gonna need to defeat at least 9 in total. But after we defeat our first one, we're gonna be then upgrading our weapon again. So let's go ahead and take on a blue Lynel. Before we start the fight, we wanna put down a save. And here's a neat little trick. If you're approaching one of them from high up and he doesn't spot you, which he technically did not spot us because he still has a question mark, you can actually land on his back. Friendly reminder before you begin to now equip your 3-shot bow, equip your barbarian armor, and make sure you have a strong shield. Make sure you have your your big floppy sword, and then as soon as you land on him, you're going to be able to do some damage. Now that you have a 3-shot bow, you're going to be able to land this headshot a lot easier. If you land all the headshots like that, then you're going to be doing, you know, that 20 more damage, but that really isn't why we're doing this 3-shot bow in the first place. Also, if you didn't upgrade your barbarian armor, then he does have the capability of one-shotting you and bypassing the anti-one-shot rule. So be careful with that. Just deflect his attacks. Wait for your opening. If you... Oh, thanks, Tullen. I was about to say, if you miss, get ready to jump back. That way he doesn't swipe at you before you have the opportunity to whip your shield out and put your bow away. Here comes the fire. You can deflect the fire, but again, those updrafts, why would you waste an updraft? Nice. Oh, a blood moon is happening right now. So that's neat. Can I get like a really amazing thumbnail right now? Okay, that was good enough. Because you're in this section, even though you defeated this Lynel, he isn't going to instantly respawn. Now, here's the thing. You just got a mighty Lynel bow, which is going to be better than the current 3-shot bow you have. So if you have some garbage bow, like this Zonite bow, I'm going to keep the quick shot bow here. We have 3 shots that do 20 damage. This can have the enchantment of 5-shot. It's unlikely. I did get one right here, so that's a 5-shot Lynel bow, so that's doing 100 damage if all 5 hits hit. And you're going to get yourself a better shield. This is a mighty Lynel shield. I'm going to go ahead and drop my almost broken one. There we go. Knight's Broadsword, not a great weapon. I'm not going to pick it up. You know what it's time for now? The Break Apart shop. So now because we're still using this Royal Guard Claymore that still holds destructive power right before it breaks, we're still going to be using that. And because we're only attacking the back of Lynel heads, there's no durability damage done to the weapon. Never ever equip it during daily battle. This is now just your Lynel weapon. Get the Royal Guard's Claymore back, also your Silverbow Goblin Horn, which is nice. And now your blue-maned Lynel Saber Horn that you just got, that's now a fuse power of 33. So when we drop that on the floor and fuse that, we're now looking at a weapon with a power of 65. I now just realized that when I refused it, it didn't get the bonus again. So we were only doing half the damage. So I need to go around and hit some things. And also, we're gonna make our way onto white Lynels. Right next to Tarrytown, right here on the plains, is gonna be a white Lynel. I'm gonna go after that guy. Here's our white Lynel off in the distance. Just like the blue Lynel, the white Lynel can also bypass the anti-one-shot rule. So, in that case, make sure you put down a save, and we're gonna practice on him a little bit. Also, I need to do some durability damage to this, so I'm not going to be doing the shield block. I'm going to be doing some flurry rushes to start off with. So I'm going to do this until it says that my weapon is badly damaged. Right now it's a power of 65. I'm gonna stop. Now it's a power of 130. Right now is when I want to put down a save, because now my weapon is at the perfect amount of durability. I think it only has 1 or 2 hits left. If during this battle I accidentally hit it on the ground or hit him in a flurry rush, it's going to break and I'm going to lose my very powerful, what was the number? 130 weapon. So now we're going to go back to shield bashing, take out our 3-shot bow, climb on his back, and now you're gonna hear that there's a new critical hit sound to let you know you're inflicting massive amounts of damage. I haven't gone through all of the weapons and all of the bases in the game, but having a 32 that then doubles the power is absolutely enormous. Get those hits in. I'd say like the only downside of this weapon, well, obviously you could only use it for Lynels, but also the fact that every time that you pull it out, you're going to have that pop-up that says that it's badly damaged, and then on your stat screen it's going to be blinking red.